What's up guys, I'm your casual gamer, and today we're going all the way back to the 80s, and I'm going to tell you my top 10 games for the original OG Nintendo, the NES baby. Now, I understand it may be hard to get your hands on these games, as well as the console nowadays, but don't forget, we can always emulate the NES. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my NES emulator setup video link in the description below so you guys can check that out and emulate these games if you would like to. Let's get into it. So this is a tile matching video game. Hold up, you know what? I don't think I need to explain what Tetris is. I think everyone, even non-gamers, know about this game. Tetris has been released on multiple consoles, but people will always say the NES is the best and the version everyone thinks of when they think of Tetris. I hope I'm not the only one. The controls were good, the gameplay was great, and the multiplayer was awesome. I think everyone can agree this game was a classic. Next up at number 9, Kirby Avenger. The little pink puff that had more abilities in this game than Mario did at the time. And all of the abilities that Kirby could do were cool and unique. The gameplay was good, and I enjoyed all of the well-designed boss fights. Also, the mini games within the game could be Kirby video games that you would buy by themselves. I'm not a big fan of Kirby, but this game is a must-play on the NES. My number 8 is Contra, a run and gun shooter that was a short game but a ton of fun, especially with a friend in multiplayer. And a fun fact, the two playable characters, Bill and Lance, were actually Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Bet you guys didn't know that, or maybe you did, I don't know. They fight monsters in a clear spin-off of the films Aliens and Predator. The game was a bit difficult just like every Contra game, but for 1987, the game was great with good graphics and fast-paced action. Number 7, Mega Man 2. Most of the time, video game sequels aren't as good as the first, but in the case of Mega Man 2, everything was improved upon. I'm talking great platforming, smooth controls, good music, amazing level design, simple but appealing graphics, and the right amount of challenge that gave you a decent challenge. I would go as far as to say that Mega Man 2 is the best game in the Mega Man series. Although I did enjoy Mega Man 11, that was a good comeback. My number 6 pick is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! The game was created from the original arcade game, but it had Mike Tyson. At the time, that made it better, because at the time the game was released, Mike Tyson was the man, and by Nearzov. The gameplay was simple but somewhat complicated at the same time. I remember replaying over and over to beat an opponent, but once you win, it's a feeling like nothing else. They should really think about making a new one for the Nintendo Switch. I think it would do well. Number 5, Castlevania. Awesome music, great graphics, and good game design. This game took the art of platformers and made it its own, giving you a horror/action/adventure within the limitations of the NES, of course. But Castlevania did it well. You are a brave warrior that got challenged again and again by an army of evil, but you want to keep going at it one more time because the game was not easy. And you know, kids today wouldn't understand that struggle because these games today just hold your hand. But anyways, Castlevania is a classic. Number 4, Metroid. the gameplay and plot was great for its time. The music was also good and well composed, years ahead of its time, and a lot of games were inspired by Metroid after its release. The game's main character Samus isn't as popular as Nintendo's other mascots, but back in the day, this game was a very unique experience for the NES. But I will say, the game hasn't aged as well as other games released from its time period. Number 3, the original OG, Super Mario Bros., the game that got it all started. It's the first Mario game I ever played, and one of the reasons I'm such a huge Mario fan today. Some would say that this is the game that saved gaming as a whole. It's the holy grail of gaming, cause as Atari was dying off, so were people wanting to play video games, until this game came along. And fun fact, this was the first video game I ever played in my life. Coming in at number 2 is the game that set the standards for all adventure games that were to follow, that being The Legend of Zelda. With great music, puzzles, and its sandbox element is really the best. I didn't know back then that this game would lead to what I would say is the greatest game of all time, that being Breath of the Wild. I love this game so much that it was difficult choosing between first and second, but I think this next game deserves that spot. My number 1 pick, Super Mario Bros. 3. Man, this game pushed the NES system to the limits and took everything from the original game and multiplied it. The game felt polished and complete, even by today's standards. This is still a great game and has stood the test of time. It has unique themed levels, new power-ups, the ability to acquire and save an inventory of power-ups for future stages, creative and new enemies, and the music was good. And even had a fun and familiar mini-game on 2-player mode. I would say the best Mario game ever made. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and also make sure to let me know in the comments what you think about my top 10 picks. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.